Hey, are you doing some research right now about your upcoming cruise vacation to the beautiful island of New Zealand? Well, you found a series of videos that's going to talk about some of the ports that you're probably going to visit. First up is Bay of Islands. Hey, we're Mika and Joe, a married couple from South Jersey, showing you the real side of travel. From Iceland to the UAE, we break down every detail, planning, budgets, and what it actually costs. No hype, no BS, just honest, transparent travel. Follow us at MJTravels 856 and travel smarter with us. Thank you for watching. Welcome back to MJ Travels. I'm Joe.
Hi, Mika.
And we're here to talk about our 11-night cruise vacation that we took a little while back to New Zealand and Australia. And we're going to break this up into several different parts. We're going to talk about each port one at a time. And this is about Bay of Islands, or maybe Waitangi, which is what the little town is called that you go to. But Bay of Islands is like a region, and it's in the very, very far north of New Zealand. And it is, guess what? Surprisingly, it is a Bay of Islands.
Well, we're on a celebrity cruise on Celebrity Edge, and this was day 2. Port was Bay of Islands, and we took a celebrity excursion called Zane Grey's Hole in the Rock. It is a tender port. Be prepared for that. And the cost of the excursion for 2 was $429.98.
So Bay of Islands, first impressions. For me, it was a very good opener to this trip as far as what New Zealand looks like on TV, kind of, right? Because we spent some time in Auckland, and Auckland is a very nice city and everything, but it is a city. You don't really get the real feel of what it's not why you're really going there, right? I don't know if you really want to go to New Zealand just to go to Auckland. I think you want to see all the other stuff, and this is the first part of the other stuff. There's a little town as soon as you get off of the ship. It's a cute little town. When we were there, I don't know if it was because of the cruise ship being in port, or if they do this on a daily basis or on weekends or whatever. They had like a craft
fair, flea market.
Flea market type thing. People were selling honey. People were selling clothing. People were selling
handmade goods,
crafts. It was set up like right in a park, I guess, right? Like as soon as you get off the ship, that's like one of the first things that you walk into. And it is a tender port, like Mika said, so be prepared for that. You're actually going to get to go out on the magic carpet and board one of the lifeboats, tenders, to get ashore. Because there is no real large port facility there, none that I saw. But again, lining the harbor is restaurants and shops and bars. Very nice town to walk around in if you're doing an excursion. Definitely do your excursion, but leave a little bit of time, I'd say, to just walk around the town and just kind of get an experience of what day-to-day life is in that area. Oh, okay. So on to the excursion. Again, our pickup time when did we get in port? So you get into the port between 7 and 7:30 in the morning. So again, we were on a celebrity excursion. So you meet in the theater, they call your number. If you've done it before, it's Royal Caribbean or probably even Carnival. They probably all do it the same. You get off the boat, you get on a bus, takes you right to the pier where you're going to get onto a rather large, or it looks large at least when it's docked, double-decker, like pontoon boat, I guess. It's a double-hulled.
Yeah, the bottom, you have an inside area where they give you snacks, and there's a bathroom and everything, and there's like seats, and then you can go out there on the front of the little boat, and you can take pictures and stuff, or you can go upstairs, and there's seating upstairs also. Yeah,
there's a bar in there too. Don't forget about the bar.
Yeah, it's cost.
It's a cash bar. Yeah, it's definitely a cash bar on the boat on the trip. So you go out and they teach you a little bit about some of the things that have occurred there. Bay of Islands was the first place that Captain Cook landed, or was that the other place? Yeah. So they're going to give you a little bit of the history about Captain Cook and some of the history with the Bay Islands. They're going to talk about the different islands. They're going to show you some of the homes on some of the more secluded islands that are very expensive, that have very wealthy people that live on them, and some of the islands that are natural like habitats that they have gamekeepers, I guess. That
Yeah, people go out and camp. It's like campsites during the summer season.
Yeah.
You know, you can go hiking or field trips or whatever.
Yeah, but they have some, like I was saying, there's islands that are that you're not allowed to go on because they're trying to reintroduce the what's the bird?
Kiwi?
The kiwi bird. They're trying to introduce the kiwi bird onto the island, so they're trying to make sure that population gets well. So they have people who work for the state wildlife experts that will stay on the island, you know, certain months out of the year or even year round, just to help manage the population, make sure that they're okay. But again, there's dozens of these little islands all throughout this bay, and you're kind of zigzagging through them as you're trying to get out to Zane Gray's Hole in the Rock. I mean, you're going to see pictures, but it's one of the most photographed probably things in the world. When you're doing research for this trip, if you plan on going on it, you've seen a picture of Zane Gray's Hole in the Rock.
It's a big rock. It looks like an elephant with his little tusk, and it's the water that's carved a hole in the rock, and it makes it look like the trunk, the elephant's trunk. It's pretty cute.
You really don't see it as an elephant until you go around the other side, though. Right?
Well, the front side looks like the elephant. The back side just kind of looks...
Yeah, and when you approach it, you are approaching it from, I guess, technically the back side that's closer to where the ship comes from. And then there is a cool thing where if the seas aren't too rough, I thought the seas were definitely going to be too rough for us to do it, but the boat can drive through the hole. And you're underneath of it, and you see the rock above you, and it drips down on you, and you know that kind of thing. So it is, and again, it can get a little bouncy out there. I mean, you're going to see from some of the, and that always doesn't translate well in video, but the ocean was pretty rough on the trip out there, and especially around the rock, the surf was pretty high. Like, you know, there was quite a bit of wind and quite a bit of movement. So if you do get seasick, this is a bit of a risk for you. If you don't, you'll be fine. You'll probably think it's funny. Like I did, but you know.
Yeah, I didn't think it was so funny because I was one of those people that was a little queasy.
Little queasy. She needed special assistance from the crew. They had to move our seat.
Well, I figured if I was inside, you know, I'd be okay. But, you know, like on a cruise ship, I guess kind of the lower in the middle that you are, you're okay. But the middle didn't do me any good. I needed to be up in some fresh air where I could just find the horizon. And they say keep your eye on the horizon, you'll be okay.
Do you think that helped, or do you think it just passed?
I think it's a little BS. I think it...
You think it just passed?
Yeah, because on the way back, we were going slower, and it wasn't as rough and bumpy, so I think I was okay. Not cool. But we got to see some other cool things, too. There was a big rock out there that had a bunch of, like, birds. What kind of birds?
I forget. It's like kind of like a seagull type bird, but they have a different name for it. What was the other bird? Bin chicken? We didn't see those out there. They're on land.
The lighthouse. They tell you a cool story. As you're going up, approaching the hole in the rock, on your right-hand side, there's a lighthouse, a big, beautiful mountain.
Yeah.
And there's a lighthouse that's up there. And they tell you a story about, you know, how it got up there and like kind of the history of it and how they had to build it. And
caretaker's family lived there for several generations, I think, the same family. Like they raised children on that little island. I mean, it's not like a barren rock or anything like that. I mean, there's woods and, you know, grass, and they had livestock and stuff on the island. One funny story they told that stuck with me was about the donkey. They had a donkey because how they had to get the supplies from the boat that would come out and resupply them was up this long path, and they had a donkey that would carry the supplies. But eventually the donkey realized that when a ship came there, he was going to have to work for a couple of days. So the donkey would take off into the jungle or the forest and disappear for a few days, and the people would have to go and find him and bring him back so they could get the supplies up, because the donkey figured out that it was going to be hard work ahead of him. He was like, the hell with this. He would get out of his pen and take off.
Another cool experience on the way back, we got to see bottlenose dolphins.
Oh, yeah.
There was a boat that was just kind of stopped in the middle of the bay, and they were like, well, if they're stopped, they're looking for something, so let's stop and see what they're looking for. And all of a sudden, you just saw the, dolphins jumping out of the water, and there were a bunch of them, a whole little pod. I don't know what they were doing, passing through or something.
Yeah, it was a large group. I think the captain said there was probably a few dozen down there.
Yeah, and they came close to the boat. One kind of came towards the boat and brushed alongside and went around. It was pretty neat. It was nice to see.
Yeah, I'd never seen bottlenose dolphins in the wild up that close. I mean, we've seen them, we've touched them and stuff like that at those certain experiences you can have in other places, but never. I don't even think I've ever seen bottlenose dolphins in the wild. They often see humpback whales, if I remember you said, blue whales, bottlenose dolphins, pretty common. We saw some seals. There were seals out there too. Not in the water. We saw them on the rock by the birds. I'll try to get, I think we have a video of the seals that I'll throw up there. But yeah, lots of wildlife for you to see, lots of different birds, marine mammals. And then the main attraction is the hole itself in the rock, which is out there quite a ways.
It really is.
It's out kind of at the mouth of the bay. Right where the bay starts. If a ship is coming in, that's one of the first things that they'll probably see coming in. And we saw it when we were leaving as well. So it's like the ship came in the morning, and then when it left, you got to see Zane Gray's hole in the rock without even going on the excursion. So... if all you want to do is see it with your own bare eyes, if you're
save
up,
your $430.
Yeah, you could just sit up on the deck when the ship's pulling out, and after about an hour, I'd say, of leaving port, because you're moving pretty slow through there, you will see it on the starboard side, the right-hand side of the ship. If you're out there, you'll see it clear as day. So if you really don't want to spend the money and get up close and go through it and underneath it and all that stuff, or see all the wildlife, you don't even need to do this. You can just, I don't know, maybe if they don't take the same track out of the bay.
Well, yeah, maybe if you're doing it in reverse or something, I don't know.
But all in all, the trip was definitely worth the money. It was cool to see. Like, we didn't even really expect to see wildlife. It was kind of like a bonus, I guess, seeing what we saw. Overall, all in all, it's probably about 3 hours, I would say, from the time you get on the ship to the time you get back off again. The boat, I guess.
Yeah, because the boat doesn't take you or bring you back to where you started. That brings you back to the little town
Watangi.
Watangi, and that's where you get to go to the craft fair and you can have lunch. That's where we had the nice little restaurant, Charlotte's Cafe, I think it was. Had a good little brick oven pizza place there.
Yeah, lots of little nice little restaurants and cafes all over Watangi. It is a little bit of a seasonal town from what we're told. It's like the end of their season. So in the wintertime, which is right now for them, not as many people are there. But in the summertime, it's a very, very popular spot locally as well. Like they said, there are generations of families that camp on the same beach year after year after year. Generations. But yeah, if you have a chance, definitely go.
Yeah, and then what is it? After you're done, there's a bus that comes in increments that will take you back to the actual port where you can get their tender, and the tender takes you back to the ship. So you don't have to walk anywhere. It won't leave you there. You can walk because it's not that far, but after a day, you kind of just want to get on the bus and let the bus take you back so that you're, on time for all aboard.
Right. Another thing about this port, if you're looking at it, you'll see something about the treaty grounds, right? Where the Maori and the English signed the treaty that allowed the English kind of to stay and not have any issues. This is the area where it was signed, and they have a whole treaty ground where you can go and see a war canoe, some Maori artifacts, and just kind of learn about some of their culture. It's one of the best places to do it.
I think that was another excursion too, and it does cost money. Yeah,
it does cost money to go to it. Was it like $40 or $50 to get in and do the whole experience? We walked up there and looked around at what you could see for free. But if that's what you're really into, you may not be a avid go out on a boat person to do these kinds of things. If you want to get involved in the culture and learn about the culture of the place, this is probably a very, very good place to do it. They look legitimate. They're like government-run office. The people who work there looked like they were all like tribal people. So there's probably a lot of good information there. And if you're there when the sun goes down, apparently the tribal grounds is one of the areas in New Zealand where you can see regularly kiwis in the wild because they're a nocturnal bird. Mika was looking for a kiwi during
I was
the
on
day.
a kiwi hunt.
And one of the locals there was like, no, not during the day. You're not going to see them. At night, you know, when the sun, like sunset up on the tribal grounds, you'll see them, he said. But we weren't going to be there for that long. So we weren't able to see kiwi. But we walked up there and we had a look at the tribal grounds. Looks like a cool place. So it's another thing that you can do in the port of Tarangi or Waitangi, Bay of Islands. All right, so a little bit shorter video than usual. Thank you for watching MJ Travels. Follow us on TikTok and Instagram at MJTravels856.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Thanks.